Okay, there we are. Hello. How are you? This is Jeff Walker. Jeff Walker Books on the Road. Today we're going to talk about flash fiction, something I've ventured into just by happenstance, I think. So, it's flash fiction. For those that don't know, is a story told 1,000 words or less. Sometimes even 500 words or less, like much less. Like sometimes there's only like a few lines or a sentence, maybe even 3 words. That would be considered micro flash fiction, I guess, or microfiction, fiction. But that's a challenge, more so than anything else. What that probably works more best for is something real life, or like nonfiction, or a fiction told either like a horror or mystery or something along those lines. I don't see it working as well for science fiction. I mean, it's a challenge, and it's to say the least, but I don't know. Science fiction couldn't be told in just like maybe 3 words. It just, what would it be? Space, blast, and new world. That that to me that would be like, oh my God, there's just nothing there for anybody to understand. That the most I could think of was like a haiku almost. But I've been trying to do flash fiction for science fiction. I think it works best as if you put it into a theme. Because when you're writing flash fiction, you can also compile them into like a novella, a collection of short stories, or something that's connected. I've seen something on YouTube of late where the guy was describing how to connect it all into one story. Now they could do this by writing for each character as a flash fiction for each one. That way you could connect the stories together using characters, or say the same item or the same theme for each one. That to me sounds more appealing. Pardon me. I'm getting over my COVID. I had COVID yet again, so please forgive my coughs and stuff in between here. Getting back to the fiction. I wrote a few, 3 flash fictions based on AI, robots, all artificial life. In fact, I called the novel "The Artificial Life," in which mine will be all centralized around robots, AI, and drones. And it's challenging. I honestly find it rather interesting because it's more like a blurb, like a story blurb in a way, that you're trying to convey to the people what the story is about, some of the main characters. And yes, I agree, there shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 characters. 3 is pushing it because there's just too much dynamic. You can't do a whole lot of description, or you can try to do description, but you have to be limited in your way you've described. Like, you can't go into great detail about any of the planets or situation or even internal thoughts. So when you're writing this stuff, you really do have to flesh it out, have a look at it, kind of whittle it down some more, whittle it until you've got something cohesive, which is hard because I'm a great one for doing dialogue. I'm a great one for describing things sometimes. So, in a way, I just I do feel comfortable doing it because I don't mind the shorter stories, to be honest with you. I'm sure a lot of writers struggle with just shorter stories because they like to go into like great detail, like to go into great. But I feel comfortable doing flash fiction for some reason. Like it's fine by me. I've done stories that were almost 900 words, but I have flash fiction. That's where we're at. Uh, so yeah, what what can you do to science fiction to make it shorter? That's a good question. Well, like I said, you pick a theme, you kind of stick within that realm, and you try to make it as interesting as possible with little words as possible. I've seen some other flash fiction stories that are based around science fiction. And the gist of it is just telling a story like almost halfway through. And I think that kind of works. They say not to have a beginning part to your story, but it depends on your story, I think. You don't really need to hint at this is the beginning part. You just need to begin it. Maybe with a line, maybe with an action, maybe with an internal thought in that moment. That should be your beginning. And then kind of end it with a twist. That's why flash fiction works so well. There's always like a little twist at the end. So the way I kind of do it for science fiction is like a Twilight Zone episode. I've always viewed it like that. That this is like a Twilight Zone episode, and this is Rod Serling telling everybody what's happening in the story. That's pretty much it. It's just him standing there telling you what's happening. Or the event unfolds about, halfway through the show. That's a good way of looking at it. So, yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with how mine turn out. I encourage you as a writer or just anybody that just likes to write, to give it a shot. You have to learn to make it small, make it less, under 1,000, maybe under 500 if you want to really challenge yourself, and then just keep dwindling it down. Like I said, there are people out. Some people have done it within 3 words. Somebody just did 1 word. I don't understand that because you can't get a whole lot out of that one. But flash fiction is not a lucrative thing to do. You really got to love to write in order to enjoy this sort of medium, I think. Because I guarantee you're not going to make much money on it. I mean, if you enter flash fiction contests, maybe. But it's really just to introduce yourself to readers, to other writers. It's a great way to show off your talent, maybe spark conversations about stuff. So, in essence, it's not for everybody. Like I said, I've never done it before, but I'm willing to give it a try. I know for a fact that I'd have to combine these all into one novel for me to be at least somewhat successful. Because I know that there's a lot of people that do not read flash fiction. It's really a niche kind of thing. It might appeal to Gen Zers because I've seen their attention span, and this is pretty much their whole thing. I mean, you could read this on a TikTok video, and maybe they would download it or watch it. And I think that's true because there are people out there who've done TikTok videos, which are essentially flash videos, so flash fiction in a way. So I think that's where the trend keeps coming from. But like this was 3 years ago for flash fiction being a trend. So I'm not sure what to expect here. Hopefully I do well. Hopefully it's good enough. But we'll see. Yeah, and I, I do want to write more of this. Will I get into other like horror kind of genre? I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm just going to write these, see how they do, and just present it as is. And that's the most I could ask for. So a bit of advice: try one story and then try another after, and then just keep working on it and just keep editing, shrinking it. That's pretty much all you can do. The first one I wrote was "In the Darkness We Shall Live," and it was just about a hero coming to rescue his princess on a planet. And it was hard to trim that down because there was so much going on. And I don't think it really worked as a flash fiction. I think I had too much description going on. So that was a good practice. That was a good practice run. It's good to have other people read your flash fiction because maybe they can help out, find the faults, and you can perfect it. But yeah, so that's basically what flash fiction is. I wanted to get into more about, I don't want to make this all about me. I mean, I would love to hear your experiences with flash fiction, those of you that have done flash fiction. So let me know in the comments section about what you've done in flash fiction or read that pretty much appeals to you. It could be about science fiction, horror, whatever. Just let me know what you think of flash fiction. Do you think it's like a worth your time, or worth do you think people would buy a flash fiction? Just explain to me if it works or not for you. I'd love to hear your opinions, and let others know what you think of flash fiction. And we'll leave it at that for On the Road for today. I thank you for joining me, and I'll bring up another topic for my next driving session. So thank you, and we'll take care.